You're listening to Nick Healy on ABC Western Plains and Central West.
Yeah, just about 7 minutes until ABC comes up. ABC News comes up. You're already on the ABC. ABC News comes up at 8 o'clock. Look, we've heard from Aurelia Metals. They reckon that they are seeing some phenomenal results when they've been doing some test drilling at its Federation site. Now, the ore body they're getting contains zinc, lead and gold. Now, the GM for Aurelia is Andrew Graham. He reckons those grades that they're seeing in terms of metals are the highest found at the site in Nymagee near Cobar since exploration there began. And we got this report from our own rural reporter, Hannah Joes.
In short, this week what we released was the highest grade drilling results to date at Federation. We had one hole carrying about 64% lead and zinc and 378 grams per tonne gold and 2.8% copper. So to put some of that in context, our Dargues mine near Braidwood is mining about 4 to 5 grams per tonne gold. So you can see that the gold grade there is exceptional. But really Federation's predominantly a zinc ore body. And that's important because the New South Wales government has a critical minerals strategy focused on shaping New South Wales as a key player supplying raw materials that the world needs for renewable energy and those sorts of things. And Federation has copper, which is clearly a critical mineral for electrification. But as I mentioned, predominantly zinc. And zinc's the ultimate green metal, galvanising steel largely, which stops it rusting, which prolongs its life. So look, in short, Federation is a great discovery for us, but also a great discovery for New South Wales and the Central West.
So when you say it's been the highest grades to date found at the Federation site, how does that compare to the grades found at, say, your Hera site a few kilometres away?
It probably carries more gold than what we're getting in the whole of Federation. So Hera is very much a gold ore body with some good lead and zinc, and their lead zinc there at the moment is running just below about 10%. What we're seeing at Federation though is the opposite, where we're getting very, very good zinc grades with lead. It's still good gold, but not quite as much as Hera. But some of these numbers, like 64% lead and zinc, there's mines out there today running at around 10%. So those numbers are just phenomenal. And certainly to get that with some very, very strong gold and some strong copper, it's just a fantastic combination.
And how much of copper have you found at Federation in this particular discovery?
Yeah, a little bit. Copper, it isn't predominantly a copper ore body. It's predominantly a lead and zinc ore body with precious metals, so gold and silver. It will carry a little bit of copper, but it's not the thing we're chasing. For copper, we've got the Great Cobar project at Peak Mine, which does carry significant copper. So we're really well placed to then have a balance of lead and zinc out of Federation and in the future copper out of Great Cobar. We're at the moment using the drill results to develop and update our mineral resource and also our maiden mineable ore reserve. And the intent is to put those out sometime this quarter. So that detail around the specific split of commodities will certainly be part of that release when it comes to the market.
Do finds like these enable you to better estimate the extent of the deposit there?
Yeah, to a degree. So we've been doing what's called infill drilling. So effectively drilling from the surface, but between the holes we drilled previously. And that's to try to elevate our knowledge of the ore body to support a feasibility study. And we're progressing a feasibility study at the moment. Again, we'll be releasing that to the market just as we're going to release the updated mineral resource and the maiden ore reserve sometime this quarter. So really the focus was on infill between our other holes to really try to understand in detail the ore body we're dealing with. What that doesn't do, though, is allow us to find the extent of the ore body.
And what's the current timeline for when you expect the Federation mine to be up and running?
One thing that helps us a lot with Federation is it's just 10 kilometres south of our Hera mine. So the beauty of that is we already have an accommodation camp and a drill core processing facility. So those facilities have been fantastic for us in very quickly moving forward with the drill testing of Federation. So we're not starting with a fresh greenfield site in some ways, which has certainly helped. The other bit is we've actually worked very hard to move quickly on this ourselves. What we've done in 3 years, some companies have taken 10 years to do, to go from discovery to progressing towards an exploration decline. So, 3 years from discovery hole to getting underground, is a fantastic outcome, and there's not many mining companies working at that pace. We're working through the process at the moment. There's obviously a large number of steps that we have to take to get an operating mine. We're hoping to receive development consent to construct the mine sometime through next year.
That's Andrew Graham from Aurelia Metals talking about the pretty phenomenal drilling results they've been seeing at a Federation drill. That was with ABC's own Hannah Jones.